Well, guys, welcome everyone to Mando Monday. This is a series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This could be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, a new CS case, or possible operation coming out very, very soon. What is my current take on the CSGO major situation? What is my take on the M4A4 versus the M4A1S? Is it going to get buffed anytime soon? That's a very big thing as of right now, and we will touch on that in today's video. And I have to say right now, I am super excited for this week's video. I think they're going to be really awesome. I plan on doing a monthly skit related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins, and I think it's going to be really awesome. Good way to interact with the community. And I also might start doing another Q&A series where we kind of interact with Reddit possibly once a week with the CSGO market forum, because I did that recently on a video and I had a lot of fun doing it. I think we should interact with the CS community a little more. And before we get any further, here's a quick word from our sponsor, Skins Monkey.
Hi you, yes you. Would you like to get $5 for free for your first trade? Just use skinsmonkey.com and get your extra skins. See description below to enjoy the special promotion and receive 5% cashback for trading your CSGO skins.
Now, our first question up here is from It's Anarchy. He says, ask Mando, what are your thoughts on investing in the skeleton knife and also gloves? So I think a lot of people already know my take on knife investing in CS. It's not the greatest if you're looking for pure profit. It's not going to be there. It's kind of like skins investing as well. Like if you're investing in skins inside of a current active duty case, like the Prince streamer, not active duty, but really recent. I mean, the skin like that, the only reason it's gone up so much is obviously because of the buff. And I mean, the initial investment for a lot of people, the initial money to be made has already been gone. So you're kind of just hoping that it will take on further and further. And I've always talked about how that's not the best way to go about things, but knives are definitely a very long-term thing, and you're definitely going to want to go for something like the skeleton knife, the Nomad, or possibly a karambit butterfly, or I'm now in the very higher tier category if you want to make over probably $100 a year. And you have to cash out if you want to make that profit as well. And for gloves, it's pretty simple. You kind of just stick with the glove case one gloves, like obviously the Pandora's box, the Vices. Crap, I think those are from the clutch case. I don't even know. But the really rare gloves in CS, you want to gotta go with those. And even things from the clutch case as of right now, that thing's going up to the moon. It possibly might be taken out of the active duty drop pool here very soon. And of course, if that does, well, that case is going to become probably 50-60 cents. And of course, everything inside of it is going to go up way up, especially those gloves. So if you're doing it for purely profit, you're kind of doing it wrong. I'd go to cases or something else right now. And if you're going to buy a knife and gloves, you might as well get a whole play skins investment loadout, which I plan on doing here in the next few weeks for CS. Our next question up here from Clutch. Okay, he says, ask Mando, what do you think of the M4A4 Hellfire? Is it a good investment? That was very butchered. I apologize, but your grammar. So I really want to touch on this in today's video. The M4A4 versus the A1S. I've been seeing a lot of Reddit posts as well as posts on Twitter and YouTube talking about the M4A4 and how it's going to get buffed in the next few weeks possibly. Please do not listen to any of this garbage. No one has any insider information on this unless it's the man Gaben himself, and even then, I don't even know if he controls this stuff anymore. Don't base like an investment like off of that which could get buffed in the future. There's just really no point to it. I don't think it's going to get buffed before the major. The major's coming up in the next month or so. Pros are going to get used to, the M4A1S and the current meta in the game. Valve also has, a big thing with the major. They produce a lot of money. They provide a lot of money for them. And they're not going to want to throw off the entire competition for that. I think if anything, it's going to happen after the major, but I don't think it's going to be anything major to the point where people are just going to switch all the time. I think we could see something very similar how we did see a few years ago, where something's a little cheaper than the other. They could reduce the price of the M4A4 like by $100. That could do something, but even then, I don't really know. I think the A1S right now, because it is silenced and obviously does so much damage, there's not really a point of switching to the M4A4 unless they do something significant. And people have been also asking and saying, you could equip two. What if you could equip the M4A4 and the A1? And obviously, to answer your question for the Hellfire, yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's in the Hydra case, which is pretty rare. It's expensive. And once this thing does get buffed, I think you'll make that investment. That's pretty good. Kind of like how we saw with things like the Hot Rod and of course the Blue Phosphor, where these things went from being an average price, like the Hot Rod, for example, just a little over $120. Last summer, when Operation Riptide came out, that thing got buffed. It went absolutely to the moon. So you got to think of it that way too. But you got to make sure you also sell. That's another big thing if you want to make that profit. And kind of another thing to go off of how we talked about how we want to interact with Reddit more. I went on the CSGO market forum and someone posted, what buffs could Valve make to the M4A4 that could make it viable, but not take the skin prices of the A1S? I think this is something that I actually grabbed from this, where I think they could make them either the same price, then again, people would just go off of the one that's probably silenced because it would be better for the CT side. But I think if you have the option to equip two, you could buy them both in-game, which would be pretty cool. And a lot of people have also noted on this thread, Valve has been trying to do this for the past 10 years. There's just not really an answer to it, because one side's always going to be more overpowered than the other. It's kind of like the the A4 versus the AK. It's like you're always going to want to go with the AK, but I feel like right now it's actually pretty good with the meta because the M4A1S for the first time and the CT side in general actually has a pretty decent gun to go against the AK, which is actually kind of odd. Let me know what you guys think and let me know what you guys want to hear about that and see in the future. Love to hear it. Phil asks, okay, up next, ask Mando, should I invest in a Stockholm 2021 holos? I'm looking to buy high tier ones, the Mouse Holo, Copenhagen Flames Holo. It's a long-term investment, most likely for a few years. Thank you. Well, to start off that question and answer specifically, I would wait until the next major. I think that will be the closing deal for a lot of people. What's going to happen with their stickers? Valve is most likely not going to reuse the Stockholm idea where it has a transparent background. It will hurt other investments inside of CS as well and other stickers and hurt the community and the community market mostly. But I still think there's a decent opportunity and decent chance for Valve to kind of go in there and really butcher Stockholm, like significantly hurt it to the point where I don't think they'd be exactly like them, the new Antwerp major stickers, but I think they could have something a very similar effect. Like if they have the holo effects like we saw on the concept art that I covered a few weeks ago, I think they could have a decent chance of damaging them, like 10 to 15%. And even with that, I think with them coming out in general with a 75% off sale, Valve is people are most likely going to just drop the Stockholm prices 10 to 15% anyway during that 75% off sale because people are going to sell their, obviously, Stockholm stuff and buy into that. So I would wait in the next few months, and yeah, I would wait and possibly just invest for the next few years. Or you could go ahead right now if you don't want to take any chance and invest because you're going to make profit either way on these because they're very popular. They're very good looking stickers. The most popular we've possibly seen in the past 5 or 6 years. And if you're going to hold for a few years, well, it's going great for you either way. And I think all those choices you had were very good as well. Tree Power up next. Okay, this guy asks, I've been looking a long time for a big investment. Do you think Krakow 2017 autograph capsule legends was a good investment? Yes, I do, but I still think there's other things going on in the game right now for people to kind of look to that right now. I'm gonna do a little spiel and I'll tell you. So I do think they're good, obviously because they are old, and usually in CS I usually have the term old things are pretty much gold as an investment standpoint in Counter-Strike. But because there's so many things going on, obviously you have the Stockholm major stuff, you have the Antwerp major coming very, very soon, and if those stickers are really good, as well as Broken Fang, you have obviously RIPTIDE and possibly another operation coming. That's over like 400 stickers that you're going to have on the market, and it's just going to be really hard for people to go back and buy older stickers. And this is something I've seen obviously with Kato recently. Kato 15 and Kato 14, the prices really haven't gone up that much, I think due to the fact of Stockholm and just stickers that are really, really good as of right now. There's a lot of contrast and too much saturation on stickers right now. So I think to make profit on these, it's going to obviously happen, but it's going to be a couple years in my opinion for these things to really, really take off, or at least a couple months. Maybe a few months until there's another operation, and possibly for the summer hype, those things could go up quite a bit. But you got to make sure to sell if you're going to want to make profit, of course. That's a big thing I don't think a lot of people do and take care enough. Our next question up here from Jared. He asked, hey, should I be selling or holding my glove case? What do you think would be more profitable? And this is a guy who's gotten them from when back in the day when they were in the active duty drop pool in CSGO. I think a really, really good answer for you right here is probably just to keep them until the summer hype of CSGO. You know, these things are most likely going to go back over $3, and it's a case that's never really going to be long-term under $1. We've only seen this case under $1 the past 2 years for like a brief moment of a week, and I bought quite a few of them at that point in time on the Steam market a little while back. And because this is kind of a crutch item in CS, similar to the breakout case and butterfly knives and kind of the main core items that will always go up no matter what, this is kind of a part of that group. If you want to cash out, make some free stuff, I mean, go ahead and cash out. You've well made over what you got them for back in the day, and obviously got them for back in a draw. If I were you, I would hold for the long term because I think these things are going to go well over $3 for the summer set. Okay, this is something I wanted to put in the title, but I couldn't really put it without kind of spoiling it, as well as filling up the entire title with this sentence. Just because something is rare does not mean you can set whatever price you want for it. It's absolutely insane. And this is something I've seen on my videos recently, other investors' videos, and especially Reddit and Twitter. Especially Reddit, and this is where we're going to be taking it from. Someone made a post, and this is not to on anybody or go after anybody specifically, but I just want to explain everything what's going on with this. So the Glock Emerald Battle Scarred is really, really rare, which it is. There's only 3 of them listed on Buff, and of course, Train is not a collection where this is going to be in a souvenir package for the next major or possibly ever again. I do think Train will be added back to the majors, but will they reuse those skins? I don't know. Possibly and most likely. But for right now, the Glock Battle Scarred Emerald is extremely rare, and just the Battle Scarred version in general, it's pretty rare. Apparently there's only 60 Glock Emeralds that are Battle Scarred, which, yes, that's rare, but they absolutely look like absolute trash. These possibly might be some of the worst looking skins in all of CS. No one's gonna pay over $50 for this thing. even in battle scarred, it just doesn't look good. The entire top of the weapon is just completely scratched. You can get such a better option for $2 or $3, right, on CS. And like everyone else said on this thread, just because it's old and rare specifically doesn't mean you can set whatever price you want for it. And there's also so many other options for the Glock that are such a better option. One, for an investment, and two, you know, that's looking better for yourself as a place. So I wouldn't try and fall into this stuff. This has also happened before with many other situations, like the imminent danger. We kind of saw it happen, right? Just because it's old does not mean it's going to be very, very rare. And we're going to see that once again with all that stuff. And the next major as well, the Antwerp, with Vertigo obviously being added to souvenir pack. So our last question up here, should I invest in Navi Kato 2015 stickers right? And my answer is very similar to the question that got answered a few questions ago about the Krakow 2017 Legends capsules. And that's just, there's so much stuff going on in CS right now that these really aren't getting any attention. And not to say they're not going to get any attention in the future. I still do think Kato 15 is a really good investment in the next few years, because 2014 for Katowice is going to run out. Stockholm is very limited. And of course, with the Antwerp major on the fence here, I don't think we're gonna get similar stickers, but that is a possibility. In either way, we're gonna run out of good stickers here very, very soon, especially on the affordable side of things. And I think these things are really gonna step up to play and really help out people who want to make expensive sticker crafts again, at least for an affordable price that are somewhat rare. So these are definitely gonna be a very long-term hold, and we could see a Katowice 2015 summer run as we did the past couple years. The stickers for Katowice have always gone up quite a bit during the summer, and could we see that again this summer? I think so. Obviously, that is just kind of a gamble and speculation, but this for the long term is going to be good either way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below. Leave your question for next week's video. Ask Mando, then ask your question. Much appreciated. Peace out.